Hello guys. So today we are going to see about Gupta period. So Gupta period, until now what we have seen, the rise of Mauryan Empire, generally uh, the ministers and other vessels or persons of the kingdom only, okay, which give rise to small powers in the Mauryan kingdom in the later part, post Mauryan age, okay, like Kanwa you see, Satvahan you see, okay, Sunga you see. So today in the Gupta period we will see that again there is rise of Magad. Okay, so in Magad only there is rise of Gupta period. They will again consolidate a centralized power, and then was the economy, consolidation of the tax for the first time, temple architecture, many such things we will be seeing in the Gupta period. How society will be changing, how the status of women will be there. Okay. So founder was Sri Gupta, located in the Magad. Ghatotkacha was the next ruler in the 250 around uh, 2nd century AD. It was created, ruled for more than 200 years almost. Okay, uh, some great achievements were Indian culture. Here we see the core Indian cultures. Today the values system, the patriarchy, rise of the patriarchy to further extend, lesser autonomy to the woman, more parda system for the woman. These kind of things will be coming from here only. Many great poets, scientists, artists, and many contribution to the Indian culture will be seen. First ruler was then after Ghatotkacha Gupta, there was Chandragupta first, who was one of the most important ruler of that time. He also followed the policy of matrimonial alliance. Okay, and in that fashion only what we have seen in the previous time. So he married Kumar Devi. She was the princess of Lichvi. Remember Lichvi, part of the Vaishali kingdom. Okay, at that time capital city. Then they released the gold coins having image of the king and queen, and in the obverse side, front side, and in the reverse side of the goddess like Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati. Okay, so we'll sing that three Devi concept. Three Devi is already there. Three Devi concept will be consolidated here. He came to throne in the 320 AD, ruled over Saket region of Ayodhya, Prayag, Allahabad, present day, and Magad. Once again, Magad became powerful kingdom of India. Centralized authority was there, and his son Samudragupta will be even more powerful. Will be seen. So Samudragupta is called second Chakravartin Samrat. He sometimes referred to as the Napoleon of the uh, East. But you see, what is the irony here? That he came way before Samudragupta. Why cannot Napoleon be the Samudragupta of the West? But what is there is, we have a Europeanization of mindset after the British era. So this kind of things keep happening. Okay, so no much credit are given to the people living in the East. So written by Harish Sen, okay, court poet of the Samudragupta. He written an inscription, Allahabad inscription, in which details about his reign. Originally from the Ashokan period, this Allahabad inscription is there. Ashok time of the Ashoka only. Then later Mughals time also, somewhat things are mentioned here. One regions of Delhi, Western Uttar Pradesh, and added to his kingdom. Fight with king of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Odisha. Okay, and campaign in the Deccan, kings of Eastern India. So many a vast part he will be consolidating. He received tribute from the kings of Assam, Ganga, then after Ganga Delta, Nepal, North India, okay, Rajasthan, Kushan, Adsa, Kaj, Sri Lanka. So you will be seeing that almost all the part of the India, and as well as islands also known as Napoleon of the East. Ashwamedh Yajna he did, deep believer of Hinduism. Okay, monasteries at Sri. He permitted Meghavarman to create the monastery as Bodh Gaya, which is yet today also there. Gold coin having image of king playing veena and slaying animal. These kind of things were to portray that king is a well devotee as well as he is learned man. Okay. Then after Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya, one of the most enlightened Gupta rulers, defeated Sakas, Western Indian rulers, Sakas. Okay, matrimonial alliance with Nagaland. Okay, Kuber Naga was there. He married his daughter to Prabhavati to Vakataka ruler Rudrasen in the Deccan Maharashtra. He was ruling. So after the marriage, after a few years, uh, that Rudrasen will die, and indirectly the rule transferred into the hands of Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya. His biography Devi Chandraguptam was written by Vishakha Dutt. Okay, Vishakha Dutt, who wrote Mudra Rakshas also, maintained by many famous luminaries such as Kalidas, Amarsimha, Varamir, Vararuchi, Dharmantri in his court. Okay, so Kalidas was in his time only. Then phase of holistic development of religion, culture, art, architecture, temple, astrology, astronomy, mathematics, literature, medicine, metallurgy, everything, you name it, you have it. Everything developed during his time. Then Fahin was a Chinese scholar who visited his court during 400 AD and wrote Fukuoki. Okay, source of information about the Gupta period. And then come Kumar Gupta. He established the Nalanda, famous Nalanda University for Buddhist learning on modern lines. Okay, then Huna tribe of the Central Asia would be invading the Gupta Empire. Okay, and due to which continuous invasion, there will be the loss of decline of the resources and power. So loss of control in the far areas, decline of Gupta Empire will start from here onwards. So it's already 452 AD, so almost 200 years they ruled. Last Gupta ruler was Skand Gupta, devotee of goddess Lakshmi. Junagadh inscription he added that he repaired Sudarshan Lake. The Sudarshan Lake that was originally formed by brother of Chandragupta. Okay, so then resisted Huna invasion successfully after his demise, organized under Toraman and Mihir Kul. These were the two leaders of Huna tribe. So they invaded successfully, looted Gupta territory to an extent that by 550 AD they completely disappeared. Okay, so this is how the decline of things take place. Okay, then administration different from that of Mauryan Empire. Okay, governors of provinces are independent than they had been in the Mauryan times. Means here the central authority was not very powerful. The provincial authority was also there, who were much autonomous. For instance, they did not seek permission from the king for everything they did. Okay, provinces were divided into districts and were asked for help in the administration. There were district council to advise governor, and these councils consisted not only of the officers but also citizens from the towns only. So Patliputra was flourishing city. Some of the officers employed by the Guptas were paid salaries in cash. So what we are seeing here is that the system of the payment is changing. Okay, now they are paid in form of cash. This system changed over the time, and where granted land to collect revenue. Later they realized that this is not feasible to pay them. So economy, for the first time taxation on produce was imposed officially. 1/6 of the produce was taken in the form of tax. Okay, that Bhag and Vali only it is called. Uh, if there is war, there was increase in the taxation, and if there is natural calamity, then there was decrease in the taxation. This system was practiced. Great phase of urbanization was there. Silk was the most important source of trade with the foreign kingdom like Roman and Greek. Then later on, Chinese intervention, decline in the silk exports, and these Chinese are not new problem to India. This is from the 400 century. You can see that Chinese intervention is there, due to which what happened, what they actually did, they started exporting the poor quality of silk at cheaper price, and also they shared the techniques of growing silk to the Romans, due to which Indian market declined. Okay, so now what happened? Land grants to Brahmins called as Agrahar or Brahmadev and officers, the vassals of the kingdom, started. Then society uplifting the image of women. Only image was uplifted. That women were given the subtitles like Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati. So the image of women was so much increased that women were now the dignity of a family. So their movement outside the family reduced. Okay, so restrictions on women were more. Upper class women even do not work outside of their home. Lower class did because they didn't had enough amount of resources, money. So these kind of things will be happening. Polygamy was there. Intercaste marriage yet existed to some extent. Sati Pratha started here, mentioned in the Iranian inscription found in Madhya Pradesh of 510 AD. Stridhan was mentioned by Katyayan, who is called as lawgiver also. He write the book about laws. So, and girl have autonomy over it. It is given to the girl who was married. So that she can take care of herself and spend it according to her need. More urbanization led to development of brothels. Okay, and prostitution was increased in the society at this point of time. Then there was two classes of Sudras which emerged: Anirvasit Sudra and Nirvasit Sudra. Anirvasit Sudras lived in the village, and Nirvasit Sudra lived outside the village. Nirvasit Sudra had more restrictions, that when they enter village they beat drums or blow horn that they are entering the village, were highly discriminated. Often they were discriminated so much so that time was fixed that they can enter village in the afternoon only, because at the time of afternoon, if you see, the image and the shadow which is formed of their body is confined to very little area, so that their shadow cannot touch someone. This kind of you know this kind of practices of untouchability were from that time only. Chandal was one of the Shudra. So this kind of thing was there, and forced manual labor, college vishti or slavery was already practiced here also. Then religion was institutionalization of Hinduism. Concept of Three Devi was consolidated. Complex literature and rituals, part of the Hindu religion, arises from here. Further complex rituals and literatures were written in this time, or were consolidated if already existed in some Shruti form, that is, which is only in the form of spoken stories, this kind of thing. Then temple architecture, called as Nagara style of temples, that emerge here. Then concept of bhakti Bhakti emerged here and superseded the concept of sacrifice. Concept of sacrifice, what they say, that if you want something, sacrifice some bulls, some uh, other animals, cows, so you will get the benefit of the blessings of the god. But here that concept of bhakti emerged for the first time, and it gained popularity over the sacrifice. Bhakti means that your devotion towards the god. This kind of things started. Then decline were there because gold reserves decline with the decline in the silk export. Then Hunna tribes looted them and looted the printing machinery called as mohar. The stamp we today also use. At that time, stamp were used to mark the gold coins. Okay, in the gold coins they mark that this is of our kingdom. So they were looted. So they didn't had the machine to make this is ours. Weak rulers in the later period and fragmentation, like all those governors that were there in the provinces, they uh, carved out their territory and formed their own kingdom. So this kind of thing happened, and centralized authority failed in the later part after Skandagupta. So that lead to the decline by the 550 AD. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Gupta period is now over, and after this we'll be seeing some last part. What were the kingdoms parallel to the Gupta period in the southern India, and then there is rise of Pal, Pratihar, and Gurjar in the north. Okay, and these three are there, and there is fight for the Duab that will be happening between these three kingdoms, and Harshvardhan will be coming, and these kingdoms will be seen in the subsequent time. Okay, and then after we'll be winding up with the ancient. So one two more lectures will be there. So guys, take care of your health in this time when unlock is going on. Many people are very much casual about COVID, but you never know. And lastly, the Mumbai floods. Again, there is season of floods are on the rise. So let's see what happens in Bihar, Bengal, Assam in the later part. Hope and pray that all would be fine. Okay. Okay, guys. Good day.